Let's kick it off with presidential politics, since there's an excitement in the air as we get ready for the first big GOP debate tomorrow night in Milwaukee, hosted by Fox News. Trump will not be there. And now we officially know who will be there. Let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. DeSantis, Haley, Pence, Scott, Christie, Hutchinson, Burgum, and Ramaswamy. Who will not be there: Larry Elder, Will Hurd, Michigan businessman Perry Johnson, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. Most people didn't even know that those people were running. They most likely will not be missed. As I mentioned, Trump will not be there, and that's the true, elephant not in the living room. The latest Des Moines Register NBC News poll going into this debate, of course, Iowa votes first, the first of the nation caucus, shows that Donald Trump remains ahead, though by a slimmer margin in Iowa than he has nationally. The CBS poll yesterday put him at 46 points up over DeSantis, who was the next nearest competitive, 46-point lead. This one shows him with a 23-point lead over Ron DeSantis, 42-19. So still absolutely stunning and crushing, but not quite as crushing as he has nationally. And the question is, what are the stakes now for the other candidates going into tomorrow night without the elephant being there? Jason, what do you think? What do you think about it?
Well, I'm going to answer a little different than the question you asked. I want to start by saying that I think the GOP is making a mistake by not having Larry Elder at the debate. And I'm not saying that because I'm some Larry Elder surrogate. I'm saying that they're blowing an opportunity. Larry Elder is talking about issues as it relates to the Black family and the destruction of the family overall in America that needs to be front and center, because I think there's an opportunity here. Larry made a bunch of news last week in an interview he did with the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and DJ Envy, very popular radio show for younger Black people. And Larry Elder crushed these guys. And if anybody watches the hour-long interview, you can see that there's a real opportunity for Republicans to make headway with Black voters. And that's why I think it would be important to have Larry on the debate stage. He just absolutely destroyed these guys on the Breakfast Club. And you could hear a conversational turn among Charlemagne and DJ Envy and some woman that they had on name, I think Teslin or whatever, where they are openly discussing despite that they don't like Joe Biden, that they don't trust the Democrat Party. Now, they're rigged and they have to crush or go against Larry Elder. But I think when I watched the interview, I was like, oh my God, it's finally happening. Black people's eyes are opening that the Democrats are fraudulent. And I just think Larry's important to exposing that conversation. So I wish that there was some way for Larry to participate in this debate. It's a great opportunity for Republicans.
He single-handedly switched Dave Rubin over from, a lefty to the righty, or at least somebody. Like, you could see Dave Rubin's eyes come open with like, oh my God, what do you mean? Because Larry Elder is a fact machine. He's a fact machine. And what I love about the way he persuades people is he doesn't just use sweeping rhetoric. In fact, he uses no sweeping rhetoric. He just provides the evidence. He's got the data at the ready on any controversial issue. It's the way to win arguments. I wish more in the GOP field would do this, but they say he didn't qualify. I think he's disputing that, so maybe something could happen before tomorrow night. Yes, I agree. He would be a great addition. But in any event, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think that, you tell me, but I think no one's going to take out Trump just by talking about him in absentia. But I do think everyone on the stage tomorrow night will have much to gain, right? Like, if Ron DeSantis could have some sweeping moment or some pummeling moment of one of the opponents up there, it could help him, right? He's been sort of floundering as the guy who was supposed to be the standard bearer, and now every piece of news about him since he launched has been terrible. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's done very well for himself, but, he could be hurt tomorrow because the only reason nobody's laid a glove on him is no one's tried. No one's really cared about him yet, right? But now he's going to be under the national spotlight and he could get hurt. Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, they haven't made any impression really. So it's their chance to do something. Chris Christie, he's got to decide who's his focus. Is it Donald Trump still? Or are you going to go after Ron DeSantis now that he's out there? He's technically the leader, though not by much, of those who are going to be on stage. So what would you like to see tomorrow night?
Well, I think only two people matter, Vivek and Ron DeSantis. And DeSantis matters the most, but the guy that in this election cycle may have the most impact other than Donald Trump is Vivek, because I think he's revealed a strategy that I wish Ron DeSantis had embraced. Don't attack Donald Trump. There's no win there. You're not, as someone who would have to be considered a Trump supporter, you're not going to move me off Trump by attacking him. I've heard all the attacks. I don't care about any attacks. I care about whether or not there's any other candidates, any other people who can help Donald Trump drain the swamp and get rid of politics as usual. And that's why Vivek has landed so strongly with me. And I don't think anybody's going to lay a glove on Vivek, because he's going to talk circles around all of them. I think this guy, young guy, is brilliant and unique and has chosen the right strategy of, like, he's not wasting time attacking Trump. It's a mistake. And so Vivek, to me, is a strong candidate to be a vice presidential candidate for Donald Trump, part of Donald Trump's cabinet. If Donald Trump wins the nomination and wins elections and wins the election, Ron DeSantis, if he had not attacked Trump in any way, don't get baited into an attack with Trump, and just had focused on, hey, look, some people talk a good game. I actually execute a great game. Here's what I did in Florida. Here's what I'm about. Here's where I think the country needs to go. But I would have stayed away from any attack of Trump, Trump supporters. What do you call them? Something about listless
vessels. Well, maybe not. We'll play the soundbite and get into it in a second. But you didn't like the comment.
No, I just, no, because there's just no win there. Donald Trump, despite all of his flaws, and he's got plenty of them, he's been jumped into, I'm going to give you a gang analogy, but he's been jumped into the gang. And, I don't care about his flaws. I don't care about when he misspeaks. I don't care about mean tweets. All I care about is, like, hey, man, this guy has taken a lot of hits for people like me. And I want to be clear. I'm not crying broke or poor, any of that. I'm not. But my background, my worldview is very working class because of my parents. My mother was a factory worker. My dad was a factory worker before he opened a bar, basically for working class Black people. And Donald Trump's America First, bring back manufacturing jobs, resonates and speaks with me. And the MAGA crowd resonates and speaks with me. And again, this is where I think the Republicans seem reluctant to become totally the party of the working class and really go after that and just be comfortable with that brand and with that constituency. And if they did, they could bring more Black people into the tent if they embrace that fully. And that's what I think Donald Trump has done, despite all the criticism and all the claims that he's a racist and he's this and that. That's all silly talking points.
Back to school is here, but sadly, there's one subject that is rarely discussed, and that's money. Millions of kids and teens eventually graduate completely unprepared for the financial decisions awaiting them. Schools are not teaching it. Imagine if you started saving and investing when you were 10. You could have been buying Apple stock at a few dollars per share. And it's not just investing. We need to actively teach our kids about earning and saving. So parents, listen up. We have a new sponsor called Busy Kid, a super easy to use app designed to empower your children with financial literacy and responsibility. Parents pay allowance to their kids for chores, and then the kids get to manage their money in different buckets: savings, spending, investing, and giving. Your kids even get their own debit card tied to their Busy Kid account. Do your kids a favor and provide the head start they will need. Busy Kid is offering a limited time special that's 20% off an annual subscription so less than $4 a month. Go to busykid.com for more details or just download the app and use our promo code MK for 20% off your order. busykid.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.